Now, if you're a business, you measure almost everything: revenue, margin, cash, sales per day, labor as a percentage. And you can probably rattle those numbers off right now. But here's the one thing most owners never actually measure: the leadership that produces all of it.
And that's the strange part, right? The thing that driving every other number, how you lead, how your managers lead, it usually gets described as a feeling, like I think I'm a decent leader. I think the team's in a good spot. Well, think? Nobody runs their P&L on I think.
Yeah. I'm Al Rattan, co founder of Raise Your Bars.
And I'm Chris Baker, and together we built the Bars Leadership Institute. And over these two short videos, we want to walk you through the whole system, not the sales version, the real version, what it actually is and what it actually feels like to go through it.
Now, the first video is about seeing clearly, how we measure leadership. The second one is about what you do with it. So let's start with the idea underneath the whole thing, because once you get this, everything else clicks.
Now, Bars isn't a personality label and it's not borrowed from a textbook. It's our own model and it lives in one equation. Behaviors times actions plus results equals success. That's the B times, in brackets, A plus R equals S.
Now, say the one word that matters there, Chris.
It's times because behaviors are multiplied, they're not added. Now, your actions and your results get added together, but your behaviors multiply the whole thing, which means if your behavior as a leader is weak, it drags down even the strongest of actions and strong results. And if you lift up your behavior, even just a little bit, it amplifies everything else.
And that's the piece that changes how an owner thinks. You've got a manager who's busy, always doing, always moving, but the results, they just aren't there. Or you have the opposite, someone with great instincts who never quite follows through. The formula, it shows you exactly where the chain breaks. Behaviors feed actions, actions feed results. And when one link is weak, you can see it.
And we turn that into a single number that we call the success index. One honest percentage for where a leader stands today, not a verdict, it's a starting line.
Yeah, so keep that in mind as we go. Every number in the system is framed as an upside. Even a low score is just the highest leverage place to start. So let's make it real. The front door to everything we do is the BAR's Leadership Index. It's a self-assessment. 40 questions, takes about 10 minutes, 1 to 5 scale, and you can do it on your phone while you're having a coffee.
And it's doing something clever while you answer. It scores you two ways at the same time. Across 5 leadership roles, in other words, who you are as a leader, and across the 3 bars dimensions, that's behaviors, actions, and results. So you get the who and the what all in one sitting.
Now, here's the detail people always ask about. The questions, they're deliberately mixed up. They're not grouped by role. They're shuffled across the whole thing. So you can't see the pattern and game it. You can't give yourself a nice score.
No, and there are a handful of reverse questions built in. These are where the honest answer is admitting a bit of your own shadow. That one detail is why people read their results and go, okay, that's uncomfortably accurate. It earns trust in the number.
Now, the moment you finish, you get your result, your headline success index, and your band, your breakdown across behaviors, actions, and results, your role profile, and one named gap. That's the single thing we'd work on first. Instant. No 40-page report you'll never read.
It's a diagnosis, it's not a description. And that's the whole design goal. So let's walk through the 5 roles, just fast because you'll recognize your own team in these. Nobody is just one. Everyone is a blend of all 5. The point isn't to box people in, it's to show their natural strength and the shadow side that shows up when they overuse that. So the visionary sees the future and sets direction. At their best, they're inspiring. When overused, they're chasing the next shiny thing before the best plan is finished. And then the strategist plans the path. At their best, they turn vision into a workable plan. But when overused, they overanalyze things and never quite move forward.
The driver pushes the work forward and gets it done, the engine of delivery. Now, overused, though, it runs ahead of the people who need to come along and burns a little trust just to hit the deadline. The connector holds the people together, builds trust, develops people. But overused, takes on everyone's problems instead of coaching them and ends up carrying the whole team.
And then the stabilizer keeps things consistent and reliable. Order, process, dependability. But overused, they hold on to the old way long after it stopped working.
You just placed half of your team in your head while we said that, didn't you? And that's the point. And notice, every strength has a shadow. That's not a flaw in the person, it's a strength turned up too loud. This is the part clients remember. After it scores you, the index compares your three dimensions and names the one gap holding you back. And there are 6 possible outcomes, and each one tells a story.
Let's take the most common one, the execution gap. This is where your behaviors are strong, your instincts are good, you know what good leadership looks like, but your actions are lagging. The follow through isn't consistent. The one on ones get rescheduled. The plan exists, but the rhythm to run it doesn't.
And instead of telling that owner, work on your leadership, which is useless, we can say your instincts are sound, the follow through is where we'd focus. And here's the first move, it's specific, it's not a judgment, and it points straight to the development work.
And that's the shift from a vague, be a better leader to one named fixable thing. That's the value. Now, here's where it gets interesting for an owner. One leader taking the index is useful. A whole leadership team taking it, whew, that's a different level because we can put that entire team on one page.
And we call it the team leadership snapshot. One page, top of it, your team's average success index, and your behaviors, actions, and results as a team. But the part that makes owners lean in is underneath the role distribution.
Now, every leader's index gives them one primary role. That's where they naturally lead, and one growth role. So on the chart, you can instantly see, are we 4 drivers and no connectors? Then we're a team that hits deadlines and quietly burns people out. Nobody owning the stabilizer role. Then we keep reinventing the wheel.
It shows you where you're overweight and where you've got a gap nobody's filling. And that's not a feeling anymore. That's a real picture. And it becomes the team's development priority for the quarter.
Now, individual scores stay in the background for one on one coaching. The chart is deliberately team only. It's about how well rounded you are together, not ranking people against each other.
One more measurement tool, and I'll keep that short because it's not our main focus right now, but it is powerful, and it's the 360.
The index is how you see yourself. The 360 adds how everyone around you sees you, your team, your peers, and it lines the two up side by side. The role you think you lead with versus the role your team actually experiences day to day.
And that gap between the leader you believe you are and the leader your team meets on a Tuesday morning is one of the most valuable things you can ever see. It surfaces blind spots. Sometimes it surfaces a hidden strength. Your team
Mm.
rates you higher than you rate yourself on something, and you've been holding it back.
It's the same behaviors, the same language, just with the outside view added in. For leaders who are ready for it, it's the honest mirror. And we'll go deeper into that another time. So that's the seeing part. The index shows you where you stand. The team chart shows you what you look like together. The 360 shows you how you land on other people.
And measuring it is genuinely step one because you can't develop what you can't see. But the real shift starts the moment the whole team sits down together and makes sense of it in a room, results on the table, and that's exactly where the next video picks up.
So take the index first if you haven't already. It's where everyone starts. Then come and find us in video 2.